Hello, hello. So, welcome to a new podcast for our Rotarians and also a new Rotarian, our most recent. Yes, you are actually started as of July, Shawn Walker, who is now a member of Fort Lauderdale South Club of Rotary. And Shawn is going to share with us who he is, why he joined our club, and what he's already doing in the community even before joining Rotary. So, Shawn, thank you so much for being a yes right at the beginning of you being a member of the club, of sharing your story, sharing who you are. And you've actually introduced yourself and done some work for us in one of our Friday morning. So again, we meet on Friday mornings from 8 to 9 via Zoom. So it is easily accessible to everyone because I'm currently in California and I do join. So there is no excuse anywhere in the world we can join and be on this conversations and education that we do on Friday mornings. And Shawn, tell us who you are, all about Shawn. Shawn, a moment with Shawn. Show us your hat because you're that billboard. Can you tuck your head a little bit? Let's see. There you go, a moment with Shawn. So we're having that moment with you. So go ahead, share with us who you are.
Yes, and thank you for that. And thank you for having me here today. I just want to talk about myself for a moment. And that's right. That's how I came up with it, a moment. And this moment is special to me because I was invited to the Rotary Club by a nice individual. Her name is Chris Everett. Uh, I met her through a business organization networking group that we're both a part of. She invited me to the Rotarians. She thought what I do was amazing. And here's what I do. And here's Shawn Walker. First, let's start there. Shawn Walker is someone that is very strong-willed. He is very determined. He is focused. He's very disciplined. And let's talk about why I say strong will. There is nothing that Shawn sets his heart and his mind to that he will not accomplish. In fact, that reminds me of when I was a kid. I got this amazing story that I want to share with you. And I was about 6 years old. I wanted to go to school with this suit. I guess I knew that I would be doing something that would be in, and the vest was wrinkled. So my mother, she wanted me to iron the vest. But my will and my determination, I would not allow her to take the vest off of me. She called my uncles, which came over to the house to try to pull my arms and take the vest off, and they couldn't get it off. So my mom made the decision to say, just let him go to school the way he wants to go. And I wore that suit. So when I say strong will, that's who Shawn Walker is in a nutshell, because when I really set my mind and my heart to do something, I do it. And I'm not distracted by the distractions. I'm focused. And I just knew I would be doing something great. Now, the determination part, because that goes hand in hand with the will. I've always been determined to be successful. That's been my ultimate goal. But life throws us curveballs, and we also understand that. But what do we do when life throws us those curveballs? Do we run from it, or do we face it head on? And one of the things that I do, I never ran from any situation that I was faced with. And I had many trials in my life as I grew up. And I've always dealt with those trials head on. So that's with that determination. I was an athlete growing up. I played linebacker when I played football. And I was the first one to tell the team. I would rally the guys up. I would do motivational speaking before the games. But I would also tell my team, I would be like, I am the first individual that's going to go across that line and make the hit playing linebacker and set the tone for the team. I've always been the one to just lead the team by my determination. Just go over there and just make a play to get everybody else excited about being here, because these moments don't last forever, and we have to appreciate these moments while we have them. Now,
so before you keep, can I ask a question? I actually want to comment on some of the things that you shared. Is that okay?
go ahead.
So you started with your strong will, and I love how even though you interchangeably use them, you started the first one by saying your heart and then your mind. And I think that's very powerful, because when we're coming from the heart, we know we're coming from that genuine place, and the alignments of your mind and your heart is really pushing you, and you're in alignment. So therefore, it's easier to see that target and go for it. When I say easier, it's not a disconnect. But I love how you started with my heart, when my heart is in it, in my mind, because the heart is such an element. Sometimes we say, well, don't go by your feelings. But if you had that feeling that I'm going to be successful, and you continue with wearing the suit and being determined, I just totally love that. So just wanted to point out those key words, heart and mind, and being in alignment for you to be able to be so successful. And you did use the word, you knew you wanted to be successful. So what is that definition for you of being successful, even at that young age? What is that success?
Great. Well, I think success is something that we put in front of us to acquire. I don't think success is something that is realistic. It's a word that we use to identify ourselves by. However, through both of those words that I just used to sum up that, I think success is really just being authentic with yourself. And when you're authentic with yourself, then you're successful, because it's not measured by what I achieve, or it's not measured by what I do, or it's not measured by what I have. I don't think those things determine success. I think we determine success by who we are as an individual, whether it's who we were to who we're becoming, or who we became. I think those are factors that would never you became. That's why I strongly encourage anyone to do personal development, because success should not be determined by the things that you possess or what you acquire. It should be determined by who you are as an individual.
I love it. Thank you so much for that distinction, because from an early age, you had a target and you were successful at it, and you keep on. And that's what is inspiring, is it's not, well, I just want to be a successful making $1 million. Like you said, that outside source. It's that authenticity of, this is my target. This is what you stated. This is what is in front of me. I'm going forward, and I was successful at it. And even a failure is a success, because you're going at it and being authentic in that process. Totally love it. So thank you so much for letting me ask those questions. And some of this is actually right at the moment as you are sharing, like, I want to know more about this. So thank you so much for allowing me.
Can I elaborate a little more on that? Now, with that failure, Krista, with that failure is sometimes people stay stagnant because of that failure, not embracing that failure, not learning through that failure. Because that, if it wasn't for that failure, you wouldn't have a new way of thinking, or the possibilities wouldn't be there. You need failure in order to succeed.
Totally agree. So thank you so much. And I appreciate you adding that piece and elaborating, because a lot of people freeze in fear of failure, and fear and failure together. It's just like a freeze moment. So I love that, and that you continue to inspire others. So now, I know I cut you off. Are you able to go back to what you were sharing of who you are, or do you want me to ask a question? Or you got it?
You can ask a question.
So you do inspire.
I think two parts of that was who I am. I think the last, you can ask a question.
Yeah.
However, go ahead.
So from what you do right now, how do you bring kids, since we're speaking of success and speaking of who you are, because tell us about what you also do with your moment with Shawn, your business of the coaching with the kids? The stories that you've shared are so inspirational.
It's funny how I came about the name. It's funny how I became about the journey. But I was in a transition in life where I went from owning my own mobile detailing business to looking at new ways and new opportunities in life. I came across Lyft and Uber, and I became an Uber driver, Lyft driver, after I raised the majority of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Within the job, I noticed that individuals that entered the vehicle had a different set of problems. So it was like, wow. And I was either lifting someone up, or I was either being somber for someone, or I was either being a comforter for someone. I decided to take the journey and embrace the job. And in embracing the job, I started recording the rides and the moments that I was having with individuals and how inspiring they were to me, but not also I was to them. I was very inspiring to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Before I came up with the name A Moment with Shawn, it was Uber Shawn Chronicles. And these were stories that I had encounters with individuals that entered the car and on the ride. But the best part about it, I was getting paid to do it. So it didn't really matter. I was like,
No,
oh.
I never heard that. I mean, I've seen people share on social media there's some of their rides, but the way you embrace it in Lyft, right? And then Uber, I love it. Okay, keep going.
So Christoph, so it was just amazing at some of the stories that individuals would share with me. I won't remember one in particular. Her name was Jocelyn. I met her. She was just being diagnosed with breast cancer when I picked her up.
Mm.
Her mother passed away from stage 4 breast cancer. I took her to a pharmacy on the ride, and she just broke down. It took me a moment to really pull over and start to talk to her. And those are experiences that you never know what life is going to throw at you. Forrest Gump said it best: life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. And how I was able to follow her journey. She had a double vasectomy. She would stay in contact with me. I even made a Moment with Shawn hat and shirt for her that she would wear too when she went to the doctor. That really inspired me to appreciate life, because we never know when we're going to receive news, bad news at that. And I don't think it was bad news in a way. I think that she learned a lot about herself. She was deaf, but you would not have known that if you would have met her, because she was so full of life, even to her passing days. And one of the things I remember about her, she would always encourage me to keep going, to keep inspiring others. But in her passing, I received a call one day from her brother. It just shows the impact that you have on someone's life. And with that call, he said, my sister said to give you a call if an event she passed. And she has now moved on. And sometimes I think that she's watching over me as well, because she just embraced the journey that I had. She used to always just talk to me about life and the pain that's associated with life while she was in pain. and how my voice would help her to help uplift her while she was going through some of that pain. You just never know who comes in your life to not for you to lift them up, but for them to lift you up. I became very appreciative of that experience, and I will never forget that.
I will never forget it either. That is such a touching story because it's quote unquote simple job of picking up someone, and we all have the app on our phone, but having someone that picks you up and changes your life, but then you being transformed as well. That is so remarkable. So, and that's Jocelyn, right?
Yes,
In honor
and
of
I have numerous stories that I could share. I have almost 30,000 rides.
Wow.
When the actual app, but when you times that times four, that's like
Mhm.
120,000 people. And I don't think there is,
What an amazing way to be in touch with people.
yes, yes. I still do it to this day. I know that my journey is going to come to an end at some point because of the transition from that to becoming a sought after motivational speaker, one, two, also a motivational coach and trainer. I'm
So tell us more about that.
Yes, I will. I enjoy doing what I do as a trainer and coach. My tagline is if you're down and you need a hand, call me. I'm your man. And the phone has started to ring. I'm helping individuals now in their personal journeys, more so than adults, but children. I can tell you a little bit about the children
Mhm.
program. It's called Motivating Future Leaders. Within this program, we have a 10-course, 10-week module program. Each week, we teach a different principle. Within this principle, the kids are given an activity to do related to public speaking. It's amazing because these skills that the youth learn will not only be with them through this 10-week course, but these skills that they learn will last them a lifetime. Now, I want to go back to the beginning because my dream was to become a professional football player and give back to the community. However, that dream was cut short by some decisions that I made. I had a kid at the age of 15 and another one at the age of 16. I could no longer play football because my responsibilities called for me to be a mature young man at an early age. Now, that dream really didn't go away. While I was thinking of just becoming a football player, I think the universe had something greater for me and greater in mind. I now have a shield, which is the logo of the program, Motivating Future Leaders. But I think the universe was calling me to not only be a player, but to develop a lead for these future leaders. And that's what our program represents, future leaders. And I don't think that we're called just to lead here locally. I do know this will be a global initiative where I'm helping youth all over the world. In fact, I want to say I was just contacted from a country in Africa to do a training by one of the instructors for the kids there. I think there's about 150 kids there that he heard me speak and he was blown away by my speaking ability when he found out that I train and coach youth, which we share the same passion. He was eager to collaborate with me and start developing the program.
That is amazing. So your 10-week course is currently in person in Florida, or is it all online?
When I first started it, it started online. Now I'm currently local
Mhm.
here in Florida. The city is North Lauderdale, Florida. I
Mhm.
work out of a library. They give me this whole facility to bring individuals in to do conferences, workshop, speech contests. We have done those. We are really bringing the community together. We had the mayor come out. We're working hand in hand with the commissioner of the city. It's just exciting time. The
Sorry, yeah.
people are, the community is starting to really come together. And not only that, I don't want to say just that. Now other organizations are starting to come to the library, which was a vision that I had in the very beginning because I want to bring resources to the city of North Lauderdale where individuals can use those resources to better their lives.
I love it. So you're basically locally helping and coaching those kids, but then you're opening it to the community. By the way, library is a resource. Come, like you are expanding. And you're so the team in Africa, the 100 kids, are you going to fly there? You're going to do it online? What do you envision that to be if you already have that logistic taken care of?
For now, I'm in the works and talking with the director over there because he too has the same vision. My vision now is to pair the two libraries together
Ah,
and make this an international collaboration. One of the things we're looking at is having the kids that are in Africa give speeches to the kids here in the States and vice versa. This is just a vision that I have, and these kids will be connected with other kids on other continents. What an amazing vision that is. And they actually have not visited Africa, but what are the possibilities? I've opened their minds to wanting to go to another continent like Africa. It's amazing.
I love it. Of course, I love it because I'm international. So when I go home to Guadeloupe, I actually go to my brother's school and I speak to the kids there, and they just love the idea of someone who's from their roots, from home, bringing. Of course, the first question is, are you rich? Like, yes, in my mind, in my heart, and all, right? My heart, mind, all of it. But it's interesting as when you bring into them like what they see on TV, it's like that connection. So even the fact that they are connected with someone who is from a country that they never visited or they've heard about or they maybe see on TV. It just opens, like you said, the possibilities. My stepdaughter went to Guadeloupe one time and they were like flies over her, like, oh my gosh, she's American. And they didn't speak the language, but it just opened an excitement in kids and that collaboration at that level. I'm super excited for you. And I'm going to be a part of this. I'm not sure how, but I just love all of it. So thank you. I also
I,
want to bring up, what did you say?
I was going to say that the vision is actually bigger than that because I actually would love to have those kids fly in from Africa and maybe we have a speech contest that is here somewhere in Fort Lauderdale. What an experience it would be, A, for the kids here, but B, for those kids there, and vice versa.
Yes.
This is something that I am still envisioning to happen, and I know it will happen because I believe it wholeheartedly. But
Mhm.
just to have that connection and to have that on their resume that they spoke to another country as a youth, that's amazing right there. There are some adults that haven't spoken in other countries as well.
I am totally excited for this vision because I do believe it is unfolding. And the reason I'm going to say that with confidence is because I was actually just speaking to my mom yesterday of parents like to take their kids on vacation. But I'm like, Mom, what you give to me as a gift of being able to travel to another country. My first one was Canada as a child without my parents and being able to connect with other countries, with other cultures. the mind just opens up in a different level than just having the parents like, oh, let's go on vacation, let's go to Disney, let's go to, it's great. It's awesome to have those times, but there is something unique about a child traveling from one country to another and coming to explore something that they're developing themselves, which is, like you said, speaking. So I love it. Also, what is the number one fear in the world? Speaking. And that's what
Right,
you're teaching
right.
kids. That's what you're providing to them early on of overcoming. Like you said, you always go and face your fears. So you are bringing that in for kids early on. It's like, we got this. Once that number one world fear is gone, all they can do is keep going and be successful, being authentic because you helped them overcome that. So I totally acknowledge you for that. So thank you.
And one of the things I want to say too, Krista, that goes back to my early childhood, like you said, where that will and that determination, and that's leadership.
Yes.
Just doing it, just doing it. They're the possibilities. That's what I look at. How could this be? When I first received that invitation, it's like this could really because he is very similar to myself. We have conversation. He's texting me, I'm texting him. We jump on a phone call. It's a 4-hour difference, and sometimes I forget when I jump on the phone with him. It's like midnight there, and it's 8 o'clock here. But
Wow.
he doesn't decline my phone calls. He takes my phone calls, and
Yeah, because you guys are excited for what's being created. I love it.
yes.
Yeah. So now you're doing something else that you're working on. There's something actually that you're working on. You want to share about that now?
Yes. And that is my book that's coming. It will be released next month. I'm excited about this book because in this book, it talks about my journey, some of the trials that I went through in life, not just went through those, but overcame those. I think this book gives you an in-depth look of just because obstacles come doesn't mean you have to run from them. You go through them, and at the end of it, you will realize that you have completed the course. That's why they call it an obstacle course, because you have to flip it with a spatula. You just go through it. You go through it. It's one of the most blissful things when you are given something and you go through the process. The reward is so much greater when you really appreciate it a lot. So this book is just amazing. It's not only going to touch the hearts of you, but it's going to touch the hearts of everybody that this book comes in contact with. The title of the book is Shawn Time. There's a twofold to that as well, because Shawn Time is actually a song as well. So I'm an artist as well. I do music. So this book
You
ties
both
into
do.
that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mhm.
So this book ties into that as well. And I just want everyone to know the journey begins with you. I know we have friends, I know we have family and others, and we're to love them, but we're not to forget about ourselves. And that's what helped me in my life, dealing with my own issues first. Then I took those experiences, no matter how many experiences those was, and then I start to share those experiences to help others. It doesn't matter how young you are, you've experienced life, and this is what I train the kids in the program. You take what you have and you make the best out of it. It's like a saying they have. I used to have nothing. Now I got a whole lot of everything, but you got to start somewhere. And sometimes that somewhere is nothing. But that nothing to you is something to someone else. I just want anyone watching this interview to know that, because oftentimes we figure we have nothing to offer, but it is that nothing that someone may be looking for, because the country we live in right now is the greatest consumer country in the world. And someone is always shopping for nothing.
Mm. Someone is always shopping for nothing. I had to sit with that for a minute. Thank you. So,
and I twofold that to say this. I want to elaborate a little more, because why I say that is because nothing translate across the board.
so I'm sorry, say that one more time because I'm having a little bit of slowdown with the connection. Go ahead.
We're good. We're good. Did you catch the part?
Yeah, that's why I said go ahead and say it again because the connection was choppy.
Okay. Your nothing is something to someone else. That means if you don't think you have anything to offer, put it on offer up and see will someone buy it. We all have a contribution to the world. We were not created to not offer anything. We have something inside of us that someone else can meet. And that's what makes us unique.
I totally agree with you and align with that authentic one that you've spoken about several times. And I love how you bring it up for kids at a young age, for international, but now also opening up to adults. Not, anyone who's going to pick up your book or connecting, having a moment with Shawn is getting that experience of like, you know what? I may think that I'm not worth much, but I'm worth so much. And what does it look like for me? And being able to develop from that aspect. I love how you are inspiring. But it's not just inspiration with words, it's like it touches in the heart, it touches to the core. And that what brings transformation. Because inspiration can also help in the mind, but when it brings to the heart, it's like, okay, now I get to take a new action because Shawn says something in there that lifted something in me. The lift, right? That lifting. So I love it. So thank you so much. Thank you.
It's
So
that connection.
it's what?
That connection.
That
It's
connection.
that heart to heart. Yes.
Yes, definitely. Love it. So let's take a moment because you've definitely been a lot of inspiration, share a lot of your journey and how inspiring, but also really bringing back to a reflection of us. It's not just, oh, this is great, Shawn, great job. It's actually getting us to sit with it and say, wow, how have I been an inspiration to myself, to others? How can I continue on that journey? So that's some of what I'm taking away with lots of information, lots of inspiration, but it's also resonating and I love it. But now let's chat with, let's see, where's my finger? The Rotary. So you became a member of
Rotary.
right? You'll naturally give, you have that that giving above self and service above self and giving above self. And how did you come about? I know Chris is the one who introduced you, but what is it that's made you a yes for Rotary and also for our club, Fort Lauderdale South?
Number one, what made me say yes to Rotary? I love what Rotary stands for. I love what Rotary does for the community, and not just the community. Rotary is a global organization. This organization helps individuals no matter where they are. The alliance in Rotary, the collaboration in Rotary. In fact, as I was talking to the individual in Africa, first thing I did was I looked to see was there a Rotary club there.
Nice, nice.
Guess what? There's a Rotary club there. And by having that Rotary club there, I have some questions. I'll be seeking some information because physically I wouldn't have to be there, but I would have my fellow Rotarians there, which is family, that if we needed to do something, I would have boots on the ground that could aid and not physically be there. I think Rotary is an amazing organization. And that was in part because I know that Rotarians and Rotary Club can help me further this journey. I cannot do this by myself. I want to say the opposite of fear is another four-letter word.
Fear.
And what that word is help.
Help. Okay. The opposite of
Yes.
fear is help. Got it.
Yes, you need help. You cannot do it by yourself. And oftentimes individuals are afraid to get help because this journey that I'm on, it doesn't just consist of me. It consists of the lives that are like-hearted individuals that I'm coming in contact with, that not only have I said yes to Rotary, but they're saying yes to the vision. I think oftentimes, instead of them being connected to me, I want them to be connected to the vision, because where there is no vision, the people perish. My goal every day is to seek the vision. What is the vision? What's next? What are the possibilities? Where could we take this from here? These are the questions I ask myself. I know that Rotarians have individuals from all different backgrounds that are fellow Rotarians that can just assist and aid and make this something very special, and also become a part of this alliance that we can all build. And that's Rotary. I think that that's their ultimate goal. And I'm just excited to be a part of that journey with them as well.
Awesome. So I would say check mark. Great job. You joined for the right reasons. Because it's all about collaboration, and that's a global power. And that's also one of the reasons for me to have joined Rotary is being international myself. I can go home and there are clubs there. So I just totally love the reason why, and your heart connection too. I don't know why I keep using the heart connection because I'm wearing a heart today. With that heart connection of what's possible, that expansion, and Rotary with the experience, with the same mindset that Rotarians have, can propel in that expansion of your vision. And I'm super excited to see that. So thank you. Now, what about why our club? Why Fort Lauderdale South?
Our club. Why our club? I was going to answer that. Fort Lauderdale South Rotary Club is amazing. I love everyone there at the club. I was welcomed with open arms. I was embraced from the beginning. Although my first experience, I had to go there and give a speech. But my speech was incredible. To talk a little bit about what I do, to share with fellow Rotarians in Fort Lauderdale South about who I am, and the vision was just embraced. Not only that, I had a contest for my youth organization, and the support that I received. There were individuals that jumped right in. I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. And just to get that support was just amazing at Rotary Fort Lauderdale South. If you're considering joining a Rotary club, now I can say we would embrace you the same.
I love that you received the help that when you came and you joined, because you used the word, fear and help, you really got the help from us from the get-go, and that propelled that connection, and that just kept on going from there. And yes, sometimes you can become a Rotarian by being introduced through being a guest speaker and sharing your story and seeing the alliances that are possible and the expansion. So I'm so glad you joined us. I'm so glad you're part of We Are Now, both Rotarians of the Fort Lauderdale South Club. And I am super excited to see all that's going to be coming from what you bring to the table of the um, possibilities that we can do as we are aligning more with how can we help the youth in Fort Lauderdale, but also now internationally, which definitely makes my heart again sing because I am international. I was born and raised until I left in Guadeloupe at 17. So those possibilities are always so like, yes, I'm there. Although right now this year is more for traveling time for me in different states. My residence is Florida. So and I'm international. I mean, bottom line, it's international. It's all humans looking to be who they are at the core and bringing them back to understanding who they are, not just the layers that we've placed based on culture, on family, but who are you? And I see you, I hear you, I connect with you, I can help you. I can really help you release that fear. I can be that hand. And I just love, I totally love what you are up to.
And one another thing I want to say that our philosophy is I am change. And through that, we believe everything starts from the core. And that's what this organization was built on, those 10 principles. And those 10 principles, the first one is value, the second one is worth, the third one is thoughts, the fourth one is ideas.
Put yourself on the spot there.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The fourth one is ideas. The ideals become dreams, and dreams promote character, and character determines destiny. I left three out, but I have to go back and revisit those three. But that's the core essence of what this organization represents. We are athletes, no matter what the way you look at it, no matter how you look at it, we are athletes because there's a threefold here: mind, body, and soul. I believe that what life had given me at an early age, now I believe it didn't get away because now I take good care of my health as an athlete, not just for a short period of time, for a longer time. Now, number two, I think that just the mental capacity now, communicating to other individuals, which is now a global team instead of just an individual team, which is just encompasses about maybe 30 or 40 people. I think now this is like a global team and setting up team, developing coaches and having those coaches administer those teams. And we building someone would be spiritual through these principles, who we become, that authenticity in the end, that being where we're standing up and we're standing for something in the end. That's what individuals experience through our organization. They become changed through that experience. And life is all about experiences. And
Yes.
we welcome individuals to come have that experience.
So thank you so much. So you actually summed up when I was going to ask you of any advice or insights. So you just shared that, unless you want to add something else. But I think that was very become the change, right? That change,
Yes.
right? So and even though you skip a few of the ones of the value of the 10 um words or principles that you guys hold by, and we'll go ahead and add them in the description. But I love how it was a flow, right? It was value and going all the way down the chain. So transforming, becoming that ultimate self. In that description, I love how you were like, I loved it. So we'll go ahead and have that as a
Oh,
tool.
I got it. It's the two other two is habits and practice.
Habits and
Habits and
practice.
practice.
And then
That's
they need
right.
to be separate because, the value and all those are all understanding, but the habit and practice are really the ultimate in order for it to happen. So it happens
And
in divine ways.
in change, you have to look at your habits and change those and allow those to be those new ones, replace those and allow those new ones to become practice. So they have to be exercised through that. And that helps with character, and that character promotes, it creates destiny.
Love it. Love it. So now to conclude, this very inspiring and touching and getting to know Shawn, a moment with Shawn, what would you say to someone who's watching this video? What's your intent in when somebody's going to be watching this recording, this interview, this moment with Shawn? What would you like them to take away? Maybe 3 things you would like them to take away. That'll be as a Rotarian or as a person, just 3 things you would like them to take away from getting to know you or hear your story.
I actually have something for that. And
Okay.
this is actually out of the book.
Awesome.
I'm going to share this snippet here. And the conclusion of it would be one should always be open and ready to accept any sort of change. Change is a constant force in our lives, an ever-present reality that we encounter time and time again. It's a force that presents us with opportunities for growth and transformation. Embracing these shifts, whether they manifest in our careers, relationships, or personal development, is a testament to our adaptability and resilience.
Thank you. How perfect. Out of the book that you'll be releasing next month, you summed up for us the takeaways. Thank you so much, Shawn. I appreciate you take time this morning to share your story, to share everyday instances of your life, to inspire and to show how we can reflect into our own, how inspiring we can be to others. And that is what you're doing globally. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I know that we're going to do some amazing things in the future because now you have a glimpse of what the vision is. Any part of the journey, you can reach me at 954-818-2299. I'm also on Instagram at A Moment with Shawn. You can find me there. I do have content of events that we have done. My website is www.mrshawnwalker.com. That will soon be changed to A Moment with Shawn because we like to simplify things over here. And the vision is ever unfolding. But if you need to contact me, those are my contacts. And thank you, Christophe, for taking your time out and you being everywhere to have this moment with Shawn.
Well, I'm grateful for this moment to start. What time is it here? It's 9 o'clock. So what a great way to start the morning for me. Moment with Shawn. Thank you, Shawn.